Is it true that Israel and Iran are heading towards a major war? Here's everything you should know about what's going on in the Middle East. The Israel Defense Forces held a special and unusual drill called Firm Hand, simulating a multi-front war exercise focusing on the northern frontier, involving troops from the standing and reserve army from nearly all units. I myself went on reserve duty in the Armored Corps just recently, simulating a war in the north. Now, why the northern frontier? Because that's where the greatest threat to the existence of Israel lies. Iran and its proxies in Syria and Lebanon. But before we continue, please make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel to never miss any important news and videos from Israel. I make them especially for you guys. Israel continues to strike military targets belonging to Iran, with just recently reported by the Saudis that Israel struck a secret Iranian unit that operated a manufacturing center for high-precision missiles, all directed at Israel for the purpose of destroying Israel. The attack took place 2 days before the visit of Iranian President Raisi to Syria. Israel knows what the regime is doing in secret and acts accordingly. But in order to understand the focus on the north, you have to see Hezbollah's recent exercise near the Israel-Lebanon border, simulating breaching the border and taking over the Galilee. They have a whole plan laid out dedicated for that. Hezbollah used to be a semi-military terrorist organization, but now with the billions sent from Iran, Hezbollah's military power is surpassing some European armies, with over 100,000 rockets that are directed at Israel. The recent Israeli military drill included the Israeli Air Force conducting simulated strategic strikes deep in enemy territory in an all-out war scenario, with the Navy carrying out mock offensive and defensive actions. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, addressed the public as well, saying that Israel is able to take action and defend its people against any missile attack. The more time goes by, the more clear the Bible verse from Jeremiah 1:14 is. From the north, disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. Although Iran doesn't share a physical border with Israel, it has been basing itself militarily in Syria and Lebanon that do share a border with Israel, with the sole purpose of destroying Israel. Now, why the talk about war? Well, Iran enriched enough uranium to 60% fissile purity for 2 nuclear bombs. Israeli and Western officials say it could switch from enrichment at 60% fissile purity to 90%, which is weapons grade, within few weeks. And if you remember Netanyahu's speech at the UN in 2012, he marked the 90% as a red line that Israel and the world cannot allow Iran to cross.
Where should a red line be drawn? A red line should be drawn right here. Gets to a point where it's a few months away or a few weeks away.
We see today that the Biden administration continues to make more mistakes in the Middle East. Let me explain. The Muslim world in the Middle East is divided into 2 main groups, the Sunni and the Shia. The Sunni includes most of the Arab world, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and more. Shia has been radicalized by the leader of the Shia world, Iran. When Trump was in office, he tried to get things right with the Sunni world headed by Saudi Arabia, which he did successfully. I mean, Israel was super close to making peace with Saudi Arabia as well, on top of making 4 peace agreements. But now the Biden administration is neglecting the Sunni world for a possible Iran deal, I assume, which made the Saudis realize that they cannot trust America in terms of an alliance, and this void is slowly being filled by China and Russia, very close allies of Iran. In fact, exactly 3 months ago, China, Russia, and Iran held a joint military drill in the Gulf of Oman. And how is the world reacting to Iran's human rights violations? One may ask. Actually, there are good news and bad news. Depends if you're Iran or not. The Iranian regime was just elected to chair a UN committee on disarmament and international security.
I see no objection. It is so decided. Distinguished delegates, please allow me to express on behalf of the committee warmest congratulations to Haider Ali Baluchi of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
The Iranian regime is one of the world's most brutal violators of human rights. It just recently executed several young Iranians for participating in the peaceful protests for freedom and human rights. The IRGC has been shooting protesters with live bullets, causing many protesters severe injuries, including losing eye vision and, in some other cases, death. But now, thanks to the UN, it will chair a UN Human Rights Committee. Just when we thought that the UN is improving and caring more about justice than interests, I'm kidding, of course. No one thought that the UN is changing for good. The UN is a joke. It long lost all of its credibility. And the main victims of that are people who need justice and who are suffering from oppression and dictatorships, such as the Iranian people, the Palestinian people under Hamas and Islamic Jihad, and Christians who are persecuted daily in the African continent. This hypocrisy is reaching new heights that we cannot allow ourselves to be silent about. But where the Iranian people are? I have been very active in the Persian media as I talk to many Iranians on social media, and guess what? 100% of the Iranian people support an Israeli strike on Iranian regime facilities. In the past, when Qasem Soleimani was assassinated, Iranian people rejoiced. When an anonymous drone exploded on Iranian regime facilities, Iranian people rejoiced. They know the true colors of this evil regime, and that's why they support Israel. They know that their future will look a lot better when Iran will be free from the grip of radical Islam. And as the adage goes, Israel is hoping for peace, but as always, ready for war.